I didn't kill him, but his blood was on my hands. In a town where everyone already judged me, one mistake turned me into a murderer. Now I have one night to prove I'm not the monster they think I am. I didn't kill him, but the moment I saw his blood on my hands, I knew no one would believe me. The town of Blackridge was the kind of place where nothing ever happened until it did. A quiet, suffocating silence wrapped around everything here, like the town itself was holding secrets in its lungs. And now, I was one of them. It started on a Thursday night. I remember because I was late closing the bookstore again. "Emily, you'll die alone in this town if you keep working like this," my coworker Jenna had joked earlier. I laughed it off. I always did, because the truth was, I already felt alone. By the time I locked up and stepped outside, the streets were empty. Street lights flickered like they were unsure of their own existence. That's when I saw his car, Detective Mark Harlan, parked right across from my store. My chest tightened. We weren't exactly friends, but we had history. A messy one. He stepped out of the car, his face tense. "Emily," he said, like my name tasted bitter. "What are you doing here?" I asked. "I need to talk to you." Something in his voice made my stomach drop. We went back inside the bookstore. Big mistake. The kind you don't realize until it's too late. "I reopened the Carter case," he said. My heart stopped. "You shouldn't have," I whispered. "That's what you said 3 years ago, right before your brother disappeared." I flinched. "Don't bring him into this." "I don't think he ever left it," Mark said quietly. The room suddenly felt smaller, darker, like the walls were closing in. "You think I had something to do with it?" I asked. "I think you know more than you're saying." Anger burned in my chest. "Get out." "Emily," I said, "get out." The next few seconds, they blur. I remember him stepping closer. I remember backing away. I remember the sound, a dull crack, and then silence. When I opened my eyes, he was on the floor, blood pooling beneath his head, too much blood. My hands were shaking as I touched his neck. No pulse. No, no, no. This wasn't happening. This couldn't be happening. But it was. And it was about to get worse, because I wasn't alone. The bell above the bookstore door chimed. Someone had just walked in. I turned slowly. A silhouette stood in the doorway, watching. Not shocked, not scared, just watching. Then they smiled and left. That's when I realized this wasn't an accident. This was a setup, and I had just walked straight into it. Chapter 2, The Frame. I ran, not because I was guilty, but because I knew what this looked like. A dead detective, my fingerprints, my history with him. I didn't stand a chance. By morning, Blackridge had already decided my fate. Killer librarian. That's what the headlines called me. Creative, cruel, effective. I stayed hidden in an abandoned house near the edge of town, the same place my brother used to sneak into as a kid, before he disappeared, before everything broke. That night, I went back to the bookstore. I had to, because something didn't make sense. Mark said he reopened the Carter case, but why now, after 3 years? I searched his office. Risky, stupid, necessary. And that's when I found it. A file with my name on it. Inside, photos, surveillance, notes all about me. But I wasn't the suspect. I was the bait. Chapter 3, The Truth That Hunts You. The realization hit me like a punch to the chest. Mark wasn't investigating me. He was protecting me, or trying to. I flipped through the file, my hands trembling. There was one name circled over and over again, a name I barely noticed before, a man who was always around but never important enough to remember. Caleb Dunn, the town electrician, quiet, invisible, forgettable, until now. Memories started clicking into place, the silhouette in the bookstore, the smile, the way it felt, familiar. I wasn't being framed randomly. I was chosen because I was close, because I was easy to blame, because I had a past no one trusted, and because I was getting close to the truth without even knowing it. Final chapter. The hunter becomes the hunted. I found Caleb in the place no one would think to look, the old power station out town, dead silent, just like him. "You're late," he said without turning around. My blood ran cold. "You knew I'd come. You knew I'd figure it out, eventually." "Why me?" I asked. He finally turned and smiled, the same smile. "Because people believe what's easy, and you, Emily, are very easy to believe." My hands clenched. "You killed Mark." He got too close. "And my brother?" For the first time, his smile faded. "He wasn't supposed to die," Caleb said quietly. The world tilted. "He found something," Caleb continued, "something he shouldn't have, just like you." Rage flooded my veins. "You don't get to say that like it means nothing." He shrugged. "It doesn't." That's when I attacked. Not smart, not planned, but necessary. We struggled, fell, fought like animals, until a gunshot echoed through the empty station, and Caleb dropped. This time, I wasn't the one holding the weapon. The sheriff stood behind me, gun still smoking. "It looks like you were telling the truth," he said. I laughed, a broken, hollow sound. "Yeah," I whispered. "Too bad no one listens until it's too late." Epilogue. They cleared my name, eventually. But Blackridge never really forgives. It just pretends. Sometimes I still feel his blood on my hands, even though it was never really mine to carry. And sometimes, late at night, I wonder how many more Caleb Dunns are out there, watching, waiting, smiling.